Hello guys. So I just had an interesting call with one of my CVA clients who went from not making any money in the crypto market to being profitable and making a steady cash flow every single day. In this video, he's gonna share the valuable lessons he learned inside CVA and how you can implement them. So if you're not profitable right now, you can implement them and start making some serious cash flow. Right now, he's making a steady 0.66% a day with one of his bots, but it wasn't always the case. He was actually losing money at the beginning, but it wasn't until he learned this valuable lesson that he's about to share on this video where everything changed. That being said, let's get started. Yeah, it was a massive drop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was going great. I was like right here. I was in this like little bubble right here. It was going up. I was like, oh my God, it's at like 5% in 4 days. Look at that. 5% in 4 days. It was going great. And then out of nowhere, boom. I was like, oh my God. And it hit its
And that
stop loss.
happened, when did that happen? On the September 16th, right? Roughly.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Okay. What was your
Yeah.
bid range when you set up that bot?
I believe so. What I've been doing lately is making it way wider. I want to go way more passive and less risk. And
Yeah.
So at the beginning on this one, I believe it was around here. And then, of course, there was no red. It was just like one line of red. And then it just kept going down.
Mm-hmm. So,
And then this is how I'm doing right now, by the way.
That's
It's not
pretty
too,
good. You see that
yeah.
0.66% a day. So you don't have bad luck. Let's debate that first. The thing is, the crypto market is very unpredictable, right?
Right,
Which is why we use a large grid range.
right.
Because you must, even I deploy bots that are not profitable, but that's why we also follow the game plan, right? Where you start a bot with a small investment amount. So we are taking into consideration the worst case scenario, right? But if the worst case scenario happens and you have a large grid range and a smaller investment amount, like $200, even a 30% negative PNL, which is not common, but we're talking about the worst case scenario, 30% PNL in a $200 investment is only $60, right?
Right.
So it's not gonna hit you that much. Instead of, you see, you got a very ugly PNL there of 16%, but your initial investment is $1,000 right away instead of starting slow.
Yes. Yeah, which I've learned with like recently. Like that's actually something Taha told me, and you, I think, that like you could start low and then just add more funds. But my thing was I didn't realize that you can add funds and it doesn't mess with the bot. Because when I did it the first time, it messed with the bot and I got scared to do it again.
Yeah. No, it doesn't mess up with your bot. It makes the average daily profit in theory smaller, because if you have a bot running with $500, making 1% a day, you add $500 more to the $500 bot. Total investment is $1,000. Then the average daily profit is gonna drop to 0.5% because you just double it, the investment.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I know the daily profit drops and then it has to like adjust.
It doesn't drop. In theory, it doesn't drop. It remains the same. It's just that it seems to be lower because the investment is higher.
Yeah, it's like proportional to the amount.
Yes, exactly. But that is something that up to this day I still follow. Like, I still deploy a bot with a small investment amount once it has proven to work well in sideways, and even on a downtrend, especially on a downtrend, I double down and I put in $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000 in one single bot, but after 1, 2, 3 weeks of the bot performing well.
So I thought we were looking for sideways movement and uptrends. And I noticed that's actually something I want to talk to you about. Is one of the bots, I think it was Nero actually, you posted a signal for, but it was in a, like on the trading view and everything, it was in a downtrend.
Nero was sort of in a sideways overall, was on a downtrend, but that was also a risky one.
Yes, yeah, you did put it as risky. I was just curious on like what's your perspective on that? Like it's okay to be in a downtrend because I thought we were looking for sideways movement and volatility.
So you should be looking for something that is not necessarily like you should avoid downtrends, of course.
Yeah,
Something that is moving sideways, something that also has potential on going up. But if you go to Nero, for example, what was the grid range you were using? 42,
which
40.
is kind of low.
It
It
is
doesn't tell me the
quite
grid
low.
levels.
In the signal, I say you should be deploying it with a 60% plus, so higher than 60%.
So it should have been like, wait, oh, there it is, actually, right there.
Yes. And look at what would have happened. This is why the indicator is going to come very useful. So yeah, the first thing is I do mention that you should deploy the bot, this one specifically with like a 60% plus. But if you could have deployed, let's say with a 65% grid range, you have learned solid lessons, right? So for instance, you are aware that you need to invest in cryptocurrencies that actually make sense.
Yeah.
Also, you have tried, and this is natural. This is the process that a lot of people go through, right? First, they try to maximize for profitability. They lose money, although we tell them consistently, don't aim for insane percentages a day,
Right.
instead aim for consistency. So, well, you learned the lesson. Now you have two solid bots that are performing 0.5% a day is solid for the last
Yes.
28
Yeah.
29 days, and it's gonna keep performing like that. Yeah, the other thing you also have to notice is that you don't need that many cryptocurrencies to be trading. You only
Right.
need 3 to 5 cryptocurrencies that make sense, and just let them run for the long term.
I know you guys say like be careful with the signals. They're just there for helping. They're not there for like you should only follow the signals. But I just want to say it really helps me when you guys do the signals because like I said, I don't have a lot of time throughout the day anymore. Whereas like before I could search all night. Now it's very hard to find cryptocurrency, so this really helps.
What seems to be the issue that you have right
Oh,
now?
there it is. L and Q. I think yeah, like I said before, I think the biggest issue was I was going too like hot-headed. I was thinking if I go shorter grid range, it'll make more money and
Mhm.
faster. But I noticed that it's like it's a lot more riskier.
So you always have to come back to your foundation of what you want from the bot. And you're saying you want something that it's not risky. That
Yeah.
is the first thing. Then you also want something that you don't dedicate too much time, so you're not looking out or consistently checking it out. So you have to set up your bots that way. And
Okay.
the best way to do that is, if we come back to the fundamentals, you always have to come back to fundamentals, is just selecting a cryptocurrency that is worth investing on, that is explaining concepts. You go through that, and then you understand what makes a cryptocurrency worth investing on.
It
That
could be a little hard for me to do that's what I was saying. Like it's hard for me to keep up with like everything going on. But I definitely will watch them.
it takes about an hour, so you can just, if you want, you can also split it like in 2 days.
It's definitely valuable. Don't get me wrong, like I will 100% say that like there is a value in your course. I've learned a lot. I've gotten like tons of um like help in the sense of like your community. I've asked questions. I've had Taha help me. It is valuable. I just been very like slow with it. That's all.
But if you notice, the progress you have made, the first weeks, if not the first couple of months, you didn't have the right exchange. You were doing
Right.
everything on Coinbase. Imagine if you could have done it from the beginning using Bitcoin.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that was my, when you say like what was your biggest struggle, I would say not having the right exchange.
Exactly. So what have you learned so far
That
from
this,
CPA?
yeah, like you said, grid range, high, less risk, and having the right coins to focus on.
Exactly.
Like
And focus on
this,
quality.
right off the rip, I can tell just from what you guys taught me is that you want to look for something that's like consistent across the board and like around the same percentages. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely helpful. Like everything you guys taught in the course and everything has been tremendously helpful, and like all the tools that you guys are creating and everything. I just
Mhm.
have been slacking on keeping up with it.
So the biggest three takeaways that I can see here for you, Matthew, is Follow the game plan. So start slow, $300, $400. Launch your bot with a small investment amount first. The second thing is use the back testing to understand what settings you should be using, but with the mindset of having your bot running for the long term. So meaning a large grid range. Yeah, I mean, those are the two biggest takeaways, really. What do you feel is the biggest thing you have learned inside CVA?
So CVA as a whole teaches you how to use BitsGap and how to use it in like the most best way. You're not, and when you come on to BitGap, you're not just sitting there guessing what you got to do. I guess CVA as a whole taught me the most on not only how to set up coins to deploy, like with the back testing and the grid range and all that, but just learning the perspective of long-term deployments and like risk versus reward, like seeing it as like, even if I didn't know what I was doing, I would never have gotten the fact that I need to go way bigger grid range and way longer.
Exactly. Perfect. Awesome, Matthew. All right, guys. So I hope you find it useful and valuable, which is the most important thing. And if you want us to help you implement a trading strategy that will help you make an average monthly return between 8 to 16% every single month with predictability and consistency, then you need to apply for CPA. There is going to be a link down in the description where we're going to have a chat and I will see if I can even help in the first place. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and see you on the next video.